Hello, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Today, I want to talk about one of my favorite characters in all of anime, Shigeo Kageyama, better known as Mob from Mob Psycho 100. Now, the name Mob is actually really interesting because it comes from the Japanese word mobu, which means background character or a face in a crowd. At first, that's what Mob is. He's shy, timid, and he's very invisible at school. No one really notices him. But as the series unfolds, Mob slowly grows. He finds friends, he learns about himself, and more importantly than ever, he develops a strong moral compass. Stronger, in fact, than everyone around him. That's what makes Mob Psycho 100 such an influential show. It's not really about psychic powers, but rather about growth, confidence, and learning to value yourself. Growing up, I'd like to say that I was a lot like Mob. I was very shy and I used to always sit by myself during lunch, having to watch all the other kids have fun without me. My attempts at joining them usually ended up in failure, and it only made me distance myself even more. But like Mob, I met someone who changed all of that for me. I met my own version of Reigen Arataka. You see, in the series, Reigen is a con man and a scam artist. But beyond that, he's a surprisingly wise and kind man. He guides Mob with advice that, while being simple, ends up shaping Mob as a character. For me, my Reigen Arataka was my middle school chess teacher. I wasn't very good at chess, but I loved playing it. And so my teacher would often pick me to play in demonstration matches. I lost every single time, and it felt humiliating. But one day, she pulled me aside and taught me the Dutch defense. And the very next day, I used it against her and won. For a week, I was the most popular kid in the club. More importantly, though, that win gave me the confidence to make my first real friends, just like Mob needed some to make his first friends. On the topic of confidence, it's actually a major part of the Mob Psycho 100 story. Confidence is one of Mob's biggest struggles. It's even seen through his relationship with his crush and childhood friend, Tsubomi. She is everything Mob isn't. She's smart, she's popular, and she's outgoing. When asked why he doesn't confess to Tsubomi, Mob admits that he lacks the confidence. And that moment sparks a journey of self-improvement that runs throughout the entire series. To boost his own confidence, Mob joins the body improvement club at his school. At first, it seems almost pointless. He's small, weak, and unathletic, the exact opposite of what you'd expect from someone in a fitness club. But Mob is determined to become better and improve. Over the next 4 months, he puts in all his effort and commitment to improving himself. He shows up, trains seriously, and refuses to quit even when it's difficult. Eventually, as a challenge to himself, he tries to place in a high ranking spot in his school's long distance race. Typically, he places in the bottom 10% due to his lack of physical strength and stamina. However, after all the training that he's done, he manages to place 74th out of the 300 contestants. It's not first place, and it's not even close to winning, but that's not the point. For Mob, this achievement proves that real progress was made, and it came from consistency and dedication. No shortcuts. And more importantly, it shifts his perspective. What began as a way to build confidence so that he would be able to impress his crush became something more than that. He realized that his efforts aren't just about others, they're about himself. He starts to understand that self-improvement matters most when you're doing it for your own growth and not for external approval. I find it easy to relate to this part of the story. For a long time, I worked for the approval of others. Whether it was in sports or in my day to day life, I focused on pleasing people instead of chasing what mattered to me. But like Mob, eventually I understood the importance of working for myself. The thing I admire most about Mob, though, isn't his confidence, but rather his morals. Reagan teaches him that no one is better than anyone else. Everyone has value, and we're strongest when we work together and lift each other up. As it's said in the series, no one is worthless. Mob clings to that belief, even when it's tested and pushed to its limits. The weight of this belief is pushed even higher when you understand that Mob isn't just another kid. He is the most powerful psychic alive. He could bend reality to his will, but even with that power, he doesn't see himself as superior. He works hard, lives humbly, and stays true to his values. By the end of the series, Mob does finally ask Tsubomi out. She rejects him, and at first glance that may seem tragic. But Mob smiles, because he no longer is defined by whether someone else accepts him. He's grown. He works for himself, he values himself, and because of that, he's stronger than he's ever been. That's the lesson that I've taken from this show. I don't want to stay like the old Mob, shy, insecure, and invisible. I want to be someone who's confident, morally sound, and strong-willed, because that's what Mob shows us. Even a background character can be the hero of his own story.